Welcome Tributes to JabberCast, a Hunger Games podcast hosted by Jabberjays.net. Today is June 8th, 2024, and you're listening to episode 45, Sunrise on the Fandom. My name is Crystal, calling in from Hawaii, and I'm joined today by Erin in Canada,
Hi.
Carla in Panama,
Hi, everybody.
and Tash in Australia.
G'day, everyone.
And we hope to be joined later by Zach. But for now, we haven't podcasted in, I think, about 6 or 7 months. But the reason we're getting together today is because this past Thursday, out of nowhere, Scholastic announced that there is going to be a new Hunger Games book called Sunrise on the Reaping. So what was your guys' initial reaction? For me, I woke up at like 6 in the morning and there were like messages everywhere. People are like freaking out.
Yeah, we had just gotten back from vacation, and I woke up in the morning. I was still in bed and looked at my Facebook, and the very first post I saw was there was a new book. I was like, "Oh my god, copy it, send it to everybody."
I got really lucky, actually, because it's one of the very few things I think that worked out with my time zone. I was out at an event, and I got home, and I was like, you check your feed before you bed, and I was like, what? 5 minutes ago, new book, like what? And then straight away, bang! It's like, oh, hey, bitch.
So it was kind of funny because, like, in like like I said, I had just woken up, so I was looking at things and I was like, "Is this real?" Because lately it feels
It's not
like
April Fool's
everything.
again, is it?
I mean, there's just like AI things all over the place. There's people trolling all the time, and you just feel like everything like is like an internet joke nowadays. So
Oh yeah,
finding out it was real was really cool.
very, very cool. And there's a lot of the comments because everyone was like, "What is it? Quarter crowd?" I'm like, "Come on, people, think about it. Second quarter crowd, like we were, And then
That's
everyone's comments were like,
"Hey Mitch, it's hey Mitch."
Yeah. I found that really funny.
So I had already woken up to the news already dropping. But what, for you guys who are already awake, what did you think about because right after I guess Lionsgate announced when the movie's going to be coming out, right?
Yeah, that's the funny part for me because I also woke up late. I woke at like 10 Eastern, and I had pretty much the same reaction as Crystal did because like everything was flooded with it, and like right as I woke up, like maybe half an hour after I woke up, there was the Lionsgate announcement. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's real, great.
It's real.
Yes, I took the picture that said the book was coming and like sent it to all of my group chats. Everybody I knew, this is coming. Like, hey, does this mean we're gonna have a movie? Are we gonna have a movie? And then a couple hours later, I saw it and I had to go to like the actual Hunger Games site and make sure it was an official site saying that this was the movie. And I was like, send this to everybody.
Real or not real?
Of course
check.
we were gonna have a movie. That was never in doubt.
No. Which makes it all more impressive, like you said, Carla. It didn't leak because everyone's got to have known or whatever.
How?
Like,
it was such a secret.
Yeah, because also like the movie is coming like a year after the
a year and a half.
So they have to already like know what the book is about to make that announcement.
Yeah.
Like have some of an idea of what happens. I bet casting starts soon, probably.
Okay, so just to go over what we know so far. So the article that I read says that it begins with the reaping of the 50th games, so it covers the second quarter quell, which is the games that Hamish Abernathy won. And the way that this game stood out was they had twice the number of tributes at the reaping. So I guess they got a quote from Suzanne. She says, "I was inspired by David Hume's idea of implicit submission, and in his words, the easiness with which the many are governed by the few. The story also lent itself to a deeper dive into the use of propaganda and the power of those who control the narrative. The question, real or not real, seems more pressing to me every day."
I remember we talked about, when Ballad came out that, Suzanne always said with a trilogy she only wanted to write something when she felt like she had something to say, and how much the trilogy, all of her messaging around lots of themes in that. But yeah, I did wonder after Ballad, I was like, no, I don't think she's done. And without making any kind of political statement, I'll just broadly say there's a lot of divisiveness in there right now worldwide.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that quote as well, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting talking point for, some pretty important themes, I think.
I'm really looking forward to what she has to say, because this is like, I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say that, this kind of the age of misinformation is extremely frustrating, right?
Yes.
So, and I always want to know what she has to say about things, because she always has interesting takes, and she always puts that into her books in such a emotional and in-depth
Yep.
way. And I like how she educates her readers too. So,
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
It does make me wonder though, because I mean, when she announced, when Ballad was announced, we were sort of directly told that it was going to be Snow's
mhm,
backstory, right? So we knew that it was going to be mostly from the point of view of Snow. This one I find interesting because we know it's going to be about the Quarter Quell. So ostensibly, we know that Haymitch is going to be there, but I
mhm,
don't know from that description if it's going to be Haymitch, like if we're going to follow Haymitch, because this idea of misinformation makes me think outside the arena,
mm,
right? So
Yep.
like I would like to know that. I find that really, I don't know, interesting to touch upon that
It's a good theory. I
with
mean,
like
could we get the first multiple?
yeah,
Could we get a first multiple point of view book?
yeah, that would be
yeah,
interesting.
That would
yeah.
be very interesting.
Because I mean, the other thing too is Hunger Games was in Katniss's point of view, and she was like a unique protagonist, and she still had a lot of insights, but her viewpoint was pretty limited because she's from District 12. She doesn't know a lot. People keep her in the dark intentionally all the time, um, but and then she moved to third person with Snow, so we got to see a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I think multi point of view would be pretty interesting.
Would be very
But also
interesting.
like, if she did go back to first person, would Haymitch even be interesting from a first person
I
point
mean,
of view?
I would like to have a Haymitch point of view because I think, I mean, Katniss is, she's obviously very smart inside the games, but I feel like she's more like reactive smart. Like she knows what to do in situations when they happen. I feel like Haymitch is very good at reading people, and I am so looking. We were talking about it in one of our chats about the possibility of like him having so many people in that arena that it's gonna be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
crazy. And I was really looking forward to the possibility of Haymitch like not even bothering to learn people's names because there's so many of them. And I like that idea of him sort of getting the first impression of a person and then going off from there because I
yeah.
think he's very good at reading people. So in that sense, I would love to see a Haymitch point of view, but again, like this misinformation thing makes me think outside the arena.
Of
So, this is going to be taking place 40 years after, because Ballad was the 10th Hunger Games. So this is going to be the 50th. So it's 40 years later. So, and Snow is still in power. So he's going to be around 58 years old, at the time. And people have been talking.
Question, wait, question. Do we remember what happened in the 25th? Like in the first quarter quill? What was the twist? I don't remember.
I think we do know, but I can't remember what it is.
it was. Hang on. 25th. Come on. As long as the wiki is correct. That's when they had to vote who
Oh,
they
yeah, that's
picked
right.
instead of
Oh,
That's right.
having
okay.
the
Okay.
Okay.
reaping. Yeah.
That's right.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's cold. Okay.
Yeah. Very cold.
But I mean, 40 years. Obviously, Snow is still around. Do you think we're going to see return of a lot of ballad characters? I mean, obviously, we're still going to see Tigers because we do see her
Yes.
in Mockingjay. And then I mean, Lucky will probably still be around, right?
Well, Caesar
I
was
don't know if
presenting
She's
by
she's.
now,
Caesar.
but yeah. So it could
Maybe
be
it'll
a
be like a
handover.
passing of the torch kind of thing between father and son, because at some point he must retire and hand things over to Caesar. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if this is the
I
transition.
mean, it did he. Now I'm wondering if the timeline actually lines up. Because wasn't Caesar already like
Caesar
a
was
little
like a
kid.
baby in
Yeah,
Ballad.
and then
Yeah.
add 40 years.
Yeah, so
Was
he'll be
it?
like around 40. Yeah, I don't know.
But
So how
isn't that like around the age he was in the Hunger Games?
Games.
was he?
Yes, but they
I
had
thought he was
expensive
older.
plastic
I
surgery.
mean,
I
he
thought
might
he
have
was,
he might have been like 50. Okay, I guess
yeah.
you can fudge it up, but yeah,
I'm with Erin. Capital plastic surgery. Things.
good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But
does that
yeah,
mean they
fair
can bring
point.
Stanley Tucci back then?
Yeah, I was thinking that because unless they're gonna digitally alter his face,
Mm,
they'd
Yeah,
have to
they can do.
recast him a much
They
younger
can make.
person.
Yeah, they can make
yes.
him younger.
Mm,
Okay, so that
mm.
brings us to like another topic. People have already been talking about like casting for Snow, and I don't know why, but people are talking about aging up Tom Blythe for Snow, and I'm just like, we're talking 40 years here.
Years.
You could
Yeah.
just cast an older actor.
Like, I haven't seen Keith or Sutherland in a long time.
Yes.
That
Yes,
would be like
I
a
want
So
he would be a
Keeper.
good cast.
people have been throwing his name around, and I like that,
Yep.
because obviously his dad was old Snow. But
Yes.
so I googled it, and oh my god, this is something really weird. So I said that Snow is going to be around 58 years old, right?
Mhm.
Kiefer Sutherland is going to turn 58 in December.
Yes,
Nice.
go
Nice.
Lionsgate, go.
Go Lionsgate. Yeah.
He will be the exact age of Coriolanus Snow.
And they look so much alike too. So
They do.
I do.
They
Yeah.
both have like that distinctive voice too. So
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
get him.
Get in. Get in there.
uh,
There's so many. I know we kind of danced around it, but I'm just excited by the prospect too of. I guess it sounds a bit Easter eggy, but we know that Paula, who played Mrs. Everdeen in the first film, like she just made up a name. I feel like it's Clara. Like we've never had a name for Mrs. Everdeen,
yeah,
but we know
yeah.
that she's there at the reaping with Hamish. We never had a name for Mr. Everdeen. Could we get potentially a scene? He comforts her. Is that the origin story of Katniss's parents? At the
And I mean,
reaping.
I mean,
actually, we'll get her
You
last
know.
name too, because we only know her as Mrs. Everdeen. And obviously, before she gets
Mm,
married, she has her own
that's
name,
right.
yeah, I mean,
right?
and,
So
So
and isn't Mr. Everdeen from the Seam? Like both him and
yes,
Hamish were from the Seam, so it might be that they knew each other.
exactly.
So
And they've never named the other male tribute. So is there potentially something there of the same finding comfort in your friends have just been the ones that have been prepped
it,
for the arena? Like,
thinking about that is going to be kind of funny, because when we read the book, we're probably not going to be told. We're going to have to figure out which of these female characters in the Reaping is
is
Katniss's mom. Like,
yes.
we're going to
Yeah.
have to figure it out on our own, because we don't know what her name is.
And I just found it interesting in the sense of, again, it depends on whose point of view and whatnot. But I was thinking about all these people ostensibly before they're broken, like
Mhm.
their kids and whatever, before the events that happened to them that then chain on later and later. Mrs. Everdeen, later it's the loss of her husband and all those sorts of things as well. And then potentially again are there scenes like Gail in the first film. They're watching. Mrs. Everdeen is watching her friend in the arena.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whatever is watching Hamish in the arena. Like, yeah, just there's lots of little things that could play out there in a interesting sort of. How do you set off the tiny little spark that becomes a bigger spark? In 25 years' time. 24, sorry,
So
then 25.
it does make me wonder, though, because there was some little thing that I think Mrs. Everdeen says to Hamish in Catching Fire. She says
Mm.
something, "It's happening again,"
Mm.
right? Right. I think she's referring to
Something like
like
that.
rebellion or something. So I want to know if this is what the time period she's talking about, right?
Yeah. Just thought there that there's so many characters to get a younger version of before we know what we know. Yeah. And especially like Carla said, someone like Hamish, that point of view of he's got the sass and the arrogance and the snark and whatever in that interview before he goes in, twice as many tributes. Oh, well, don't worry, they're still all dumb. They're still all the same. I'll be fine. My odds are kind of the same. To then, coming out and being made an example of how dare you, make a mockery of our games. How dare you survive? To then becoming, later. It'll be.
It'll be interesting to see how he interacts with Maisie Lee Donner too, because I think Maisie Lee Donner would have probably been one of the merchant children, because
Yeah.
Mrs. Everdeen was a
Was a
merchant
merchant, yeah.
Yes.
daughter, right? And so she was friends with Maisie Lee. So I mean, you could argue that she was one too. So
My God, can we have like a little like West Side Story thing going on here with the four of them? Please.
That's what I was on. It'll be cute. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited for. I hope there's a little glimpse of
Yeah.
connections that we know what they could become later.
I am really curious about Macy Lee though, because
Mm.
I I I have a soft spot for Madge. Which is weird because she's like a non-entity for the most part.
That's probably
But
why you've got a soft spot, because she got shafted.
yeah, no, I mean I liked her before, but like I really do wonder how they're gonna, because like if there had been the Madge connection, I think it would have made it like easier to connect with Macy Lee, and now she's coming in and she's like a virtual stranger to us or to the audiences who haven't read the books. So I wonder how they're gonna do that, and if they're gonna even bother like including the pin at all. So
I can
They
just
have to.
imagine them like looking at how like, damn, why did we write her out?
Yeah. I mean, the easy twist for the movie is to make them a love interest, isn't it? To have a set of the first star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
That would be an easy. That wouldn't
But
surprise me at all if that happened. But not that it has to. But
no, but I think that would be really interesting because it's easy to assume that Haymitch is always this like blunt and like antisocial person, but that you can easily argue that he wasn't always like that.
No.
Because he wins the games. Obviously, he does well enough in the capital too. So I don't know. Maybe he was just really charming when he was young.
Maybe.
Like a popular guy.
And you read my mind. He cottons on really quick how to play the audience, how to play.
Yeah. So I mean, she can go anywhere with him. She can make him the complete opposite of what we see in the Hunger Games, because what we see in the original trilogy is he's gone through a lifetime of crap and heartache, and he's like lost everybody, and he keeps everybody at a distance on purpose, right? So
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like I would really like to see, because I think in all the movies we've gotten, like with Katniss and even to a certain extent with Lucy Gray, we've had characters that are sort of jaded from the beginning. And we know Haymitch from the original movies as a jaded person. So it would be interesting if he just wasn't that before the games, like it was the games who did that to him. I would like to see something like that.
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah,
it would be a nice contrast, and it'd be heartbreaking too, because you'll see like the life that he lost, basically, right?
Absolutely, everything destroyed. Yeah.
Because she kind of explores that with Finnick, right? He's like the super charming guy, but things are really dark behind the scenes, and you don't learn this until like Katniss starts to get to know him, and later on in Mockingjay too, right? So
absolutely, and that's probably a good note to segue into, like, trying to think about the ending. How does this leave, like, even Ballad, not hopeful's not the right word, but just Snowlands on top. It's like, okay, you can kind of see where things will go and play out. Well, this one, both the book and the film, where do you leave, like, Haymitch off of? I'm really interested in Suzanne's. What's the kind of final message she's left you with? Not just,
it's probably going to be a grim ending. That's what I'm thinking, because
really bleak.
It's Haymitch. So
I imagined it is that they kill his brother and his girlfriend and his mom, and they move him into the mansion.
Victor's Village.
Yep.
And I feel like the last scene we'll see is him sitting at the kitchen table, and he'll be taking his first drink.
That's a good one.
Aaron!
Aaron called it. All right.
No, she got it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that. Yeah.
Nailed it. Crushed it.
Yep. But
I just crying.
Yeah. Do you guys think we're going to have an extended, like, balanced style kind of section after the games then?
Oh,
There'll be a short section sending him home.
Because I mean, if they're gonna do that, if they're gonna like kill his whole family and his girlfriend and whatever and leave him alone, we have to
see it.
It's not gonna happen right away, right?
It says within 2 weeks after the games, they were all dead.
Yeah, exactly. But we have to have, okay, maybe not after, but we do have to come to, like, get attached to them somehow, right? So that it hurts.
Yeah. I feel like in like the very beginning, we'll see him with his family, with his little brother, with his girlfriend, and they'll be getting ready for the reaping and everything. And I think they'll get us really attached, and then we'll see them throughout while he's in
there.
They'll see him watching the games
Yep.
throughout. I don't know what will be in the book, but that's how I see it in the movie. And then we'll watch them die in the end.
Yep.
But I think that's very both interesting and convenient, because one of people's criticisms of Ballad was that the second half kind of lost momentum because the
Yeah.
games were over. So like if they do this sort of like after part with Haymitch really fast, I guess, but we do have to have then at the beginning some way to connect with
like
these
bookend
characters.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And obviously, we can have this conversation all over again once we've read the book, which will only be which is going to
Not
be
far
in March.
away.
It's less than a year.
It's less than a year. We don't have too long to wait. What is that?
That was probably why I squealed too. Sorry, I know I've said this many, many times, but I'm like, nothing ever. March 18 is legitimately my birthday. Nothing ever happens on my birthday. No releases, nothing ever. I don't. There's no cool celebrities.
Now.
There's no nothing. I'm like, oh my god, something's
9 months and 10 days.
on March 18.
But see now everybody's going, okay, Tash, let's go do all these things on your birthday. And you can be, I just want to stay home and read.
I know. It's like, no, go away. Yeah, I can't.
For my birthday, just give me the book and leave me alone.
That's right. Yeah. Lock me in a room. Yeah. No calls. But that was I was like, movie, but what, March 18, like what? Yeah. But yeah, we don't have long to wait at all. The year is flying by already. So.
But that just I'm just shocked that this didn't leak, because like if it's publishing in less than a year, this has been through like rounds and rounds of editing, right? So like
it's been copied and proofread already and laid out and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It is very exciting.
Oh my god. It's weird. Although, when did Ballad come out? It came out in 2020.
Yeah.
It was during COVID.
My one gripe though is going to be it's another edition that doesn't match, because I had to get a Ballad, like a big hardcover. It doesn't match anything that I've got. This is going to be the same. It's like they're all different heights. They're different.
To the matching.
It's all a conspiracy to get you to buy more books.
Absolutely.
I cannot. If I showed you a picture of my bookshelves, nothing ever matches with anything.
It hurts. I mean, look, yes, it is a conspiracy, but like, look, or at least release me some kind of 5-book set or something later, and they're all the same height or the same whatever.
Oh, they will. They will.
Yeah, they will eventually.
We've
got to get some sprayed edges too, don't we? That seems to be all the rage these days too.
Yeah. Do we think that the image that they showed is a final cover?
Oh no, it's this cover reveal coming.
Yeah, because I was like, no, I want a better one.
Brutal.
Okay, I didn't like the Ballad one as much, because I don't like that green color. I don't know, and so like no.
The movie poster was great. The tie-in paperback with the movie cover.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
I've never bought a movie cover tie-in before, but I had to have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to sound negative, but thank God this title is shorter.
Yes.
I really, really do love the title. I love that title so much.
It's very catchy, yeah. But
I'm wondering about the hopeful note of it too, though. I mean, sunrises, we kind of associate positive things, don't we? But on the flip side, is it also dawn of a new era, start of something? Lots of. We'll have to read the book and find out, but.
It's very contrasting too, because you start to wonder, like, what could possibly be good about the reaping?
About reaping, nothing. Yeah. I love it. I think it's very, very clever. Very yeah.
So movie-wise, Francis Lawrence is going to be returning as the director, which was nice to see. Do you think they're going to cast all 48 tributes? I mean, at the very least, I think they'll probably get people's pictures to put somewhere or something.
Yeah.
And then they probably will just, I don't know, but
I don't know, some might just
there's going to be the cornucopia too, right? So they're going to have at least 48 people
have bodies
around.
Yeah, they're like, I think most of them are going to be like extra.
Extras. Yeah.
Tribute 48.
Like a few. Yeah, we'll only get like a few named ones, if any other than.
Kind of an amazing extra gig, though.
I really, really want to see the cornucopia scene. Like, I'm already picturing it in my mind.
Carla's like, sign me up. I'll play a dead body. Sign me up. I'm there.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to see people killing each other.
The arena
So, like,
itself is going to be pretty, amazing, not just the cornucopia, because I mean, there's described like snow-capped mountains, which is actually a volcano. There's jungle. There's a cliffside. There's
Oh, the squirrels. God, I read that. I hate squirrels.
oh my god.
And I read about
the opposite
the
reaction.
carnivorous
I
squirrels
like
that attack in packs.
I like squirrels, and I was like, why would you make the squirrels evil?
Because a
They're
false sense of
scary
trust.
little guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's worse than the snakes attacking in Ballad, like, because there are squirrels everywhere. And you don't really see snakes very often, but they're squirrels.
And the murderous pink birds. Yeah.
Erin's gonna go out after the movie and like scream at every little squirrel she sees.
But I mean, yeah, it should be a really pretty arena. Like that's
It should be beautiful.
filming locations they're gonna have. Yeah, I can't wait to see. It should be really vibrant and interesting, but deadly.
Because all the troopers just would stand there on their marks and just look around, and everything's so beautiful that they don't even run when the gong chimes.
And they're talking about like poisonous flowers and things. So there's options
everything,
to like make it really colourful and butterfly, everything like.
Well, that's gonna be a change after Ballad.
Yeah,
just saying,
big time.
I know, yeah.
That could be a funny Easter egg. Snow be like, my arena sucked. I want colours, flowers, more flowers. Just see him in the control room. No, it's not pretty enough. Make it prettier.
What was the type of bird that killed Maisie Lee? Was it a flamingo or
some kind of
like a hummingbird?
Yeah.
It was a little tiny pink bird.
Or something?
Yeah. Something with a pointy beak.
Yeah.
Like the young Tweety, not the young Tweety, but like I'm sorry, I'm thinking about children's cartoons from the 90s. Anybody remember Tiny Toons? There was like a new version of like Tweety, and it was like small and pink. Yeah.
That's a blast from the past. You make you're dating us, Carla. This is where we're all like, oh shit, we're old.
Sorry.
Cut-ins from the 90s.
Speaking of old, okay, so like obviously, like if we're all in like all these Hunger Games group chats and things like that, and people were talking about casting and all, and like the old school groups were like, I don't know who's gonna be Mitch because they're so much younger.
Nobody, we don't know any young actors, okay?
Yeah. You scroll through TikTok. Who's popular now? Where are these influencers? Aren't they?
I know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's like young and hot now because they're all like exactly the same age as literally my children. My two older
something the other day about they're streaming on Fleep or Floop or something. I was just like, oh my, I don't even know. It was Peep on Floopsy or something. I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, we're the older crowd. My two older kids are 20 and 18, so they would be right around the age of the actors that they'd probably cast for
we'll just ask them to say, hey, who should play Hamish?
My kids would probably tell me all these gaming streamers, and I'd be like, no, please, no.
I'm just hoping they get people that can actually act and not just like influencers.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening though, where that's what
100% going to be influencer tributes though, 100%. So it'll be someone.
Yeah, I mean they can be extras. They can be some of the dead tributes. I don't care, but like, hey Mitch has to be able to sell it.
Yeah. And he's got to be a looker too, because Katniss, even Katniss says that he's a looker, right?
And if Katniss notices, then he's good looking.
It's true.
I think they'll make him blonde. Like, didn't Gary let Woody pick his look, and he styled himself after his brother with the blonde hair, and he's supposed to have dark curly hair in the books.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and.
Yeah, he was supposed to be from the scene. So.
Yeah. This is another cat scenario, isn't it, Erin? The wrong coloured cat. Now we've got the wrong coloured hair for Hamish.
Never getting over it.
No reason.
Here's Buttercup, a black and white cat.
White cat, yeah.
That was just lazy.
That was, I know.
The fandom is still not over that.
No.
Nope. Never gonna
upset
be
we
over
are.
it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Over a decade later, we're still talking about that damn cat.
Yep. Was the cat in the trailers? I don't remember. I just remember when I first saw it, I was like, what? Are they kidding me?
Yeah, I think it was in the trailers because, like, I remember the first trailer was like pretty much like a section of the beginning of the movie, like
Mm,
Katniss going out to hunt and stuff. And I
Mm,
think she did see the cat.
the cat, yeah. Yeah.
Buttercup Gate.
Buttercup Gate, yep. Poor Buttercup.
So one of the things that was really popular back in the original when I don't know when did this come out, but there were like all kinds of fan made videos and stuff like that. But the one that stood out from all of it was the Mainstay production stuff.
Oh, that was amazing.
They did the meadow, the Deep in the Meadow one, and then they did Finnick and Annie one,
Mm,
which our friend Shyla helped write, and then
mm.
there was the second quarter crow one. So they did do one with Hamish, and he did have dark curly hair in that one. So I asked everybody to watch it because for me, I don't like fan made videos, so I almost never watch them. But
Yeah.
I would watch these because their production quality
Yeah,
was
really good.
above way above everybody else's.
Yeah. And to be fair
And
to them too, it's like what 12, 13 years ago. So that even that landscape in fan made
yeah,
things has
yeah,
totally changed. Like the quality and
yeah,
whatnot of things is it come a long way too. Not saying that was not quality, but like a totally different time as well too. To be
yeah.
fair to them, like yeah,
But I
yeah.
thought it held up pretty well. Like they had good
Mm,
action sequences, they had good score, and like their effects were not bad. But one thing I'll say is that I feel like a fan production like this can do something a little bit more than the movie can, in that they can be a lot more violent because
It was so bloody.
yeah.
it was really
I
bloody
forgot how bloody.
and pretty violent. And I don't know what the actual like rules and things are for ratings and stuff, but obviously Lionsgate and Francis is gonna have to work with like
Mm,
some kind of cap on what he can show and
It's
what he
not
can
going to
do.
be throat squirting like it
mm.
was
Yeah,
in the
Yeah, no.
mainstay. That
yeah.
was good.
So
They want to keep it PG-13. I'm pretty sure that's always been
Mm,
Yeah.
their goal.
yeah,
limit. Mm.
yeah, yeah. So that's something that a fan film has a lot more leeway with. It can be a lot bloodier and stuff like
I
that.
was
But
impressed with Ballad though in that sense because I remember reading the book and I know we talked about it too. Like there was some pretty damn
yeah,
dark things happening and was like, well, how are they going to do this filming? And it actually turned out pretty well, while keeping, I guess the violence of it, that message. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So,
Yeah, I
but
think
you're
with
right,
Ballad,
Hamich's game. Mm.
yeah, I think with Ballad, it was more like a psychological sort of
Mm.
suspense type.
There's some pretty group like when Arachne Crane gets glassed, like that was pretty I think for a PG-13 film. Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's true.
don't know. I feel
But
like they can do stuff like that, and it can be dark content. It's
mm,
just they have to just follow certain rules for like
yeah,
how graphic and
graphic.
gory it is.
Mm.
Because I mean, I recently watched the X Files, and I remember some of the episodes. I was like, wait, they could show this kind of stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Some of the
On
scenes were
cable, you can.
gross.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it aired on Fox, which is network TV. So yeah, I was just like, ugh. Some of the scenes were just kind of like, wow.
Well,
And so I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like maybe there's more that they could show than we probably think. So
this feels like another 90s reference, though. You're aging us again, though. Let's tell you things that have been different from, it's like, yeah, we were exposed to a lot of different things, I think, as kids that
Newsflash,
weren't,
we're old.
yeah.
okay. So any other thoughts?
I'm going to derail us a little bit, but I just wanted to ask because it has been mentioned a couple of times already. Do you guys think we're gonna get a Finnick and Annie book?
Oh.
I
Um,
don't know.
at this,
Mm.
I mean, like before Ballad, I would have said probably not, but and before this one, I might have said
Said,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't know. It feels like with this one, we're like going on to book 5. It
Yeah,
just feels like anything's possible
it's a
now.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you know how I always joke around about cash cows and whatnot, but like with Suzanne Collins, it's different because it's like as long as she keeps writing and there's important stuff to
Stuff.
say in that
Yeah.
writing,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Like, just keep
Yes.
writing about the Hunger Games until the day you die. I don't care. So as soon as this announcement was made, I was immediately like, oh my god, what if we get a Finnegan Annie book?
Any book.
That would be a good dual POV book.
Oh, for sure. For
Hmm.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also we get to see a younger Max, I guess. Not that
Yeah.
much younger, but
Not much
like,
younger, but
I mean, it would have
I
to be someone else, obviously,
would
but like,
throw out a vote that I would like to see District 13 before I'd like to see Finnegan Annie.
huh.
Because I
Hmm.
feel like that's one that, like all
like
the
the
high,
during the war.
Like during the
yeah,
rebellion?
in the beginning and what I think there's still a lot we don't know around how all of that kind of came to be and played out, and that would be an interesting,
Hmm.
like, does Snow know? Does not know in part? Like, yeah, how did they get to that point by Katniss's game of being ready to basically participate in a full scale rebellion? Because none of
That
that just
that
happens,
could be that could be a
you know.
more like Game of Thronesy type of like political
Hmm,
intrigue kind of
yeah,
vibe
how
that I
you
think would be different and important.
yes, I don't know. Just that's an interesting one because by the time Katniss finds them, they're all very well. You know, like, look, they've got their silos, they've got their soldiers, they've got their military gear, they've got all that. You know, how to coin. You know,
Hmm.
there's lots of things we don't know about. I think that could be an interesting.
Did they
But yeah,
ever mention how long she's been president,
not that I
Pauline,
can remember. No, so yeah,
or their
And I
leader?
file like she'd been established for a while,
while.
but not as
Doesn't
long
seem
as
like
like
it.
Snow
No.
was established.
Yeah, not like forever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because if Finnick and Annie, like, what would be nice about that too is we've never really had much of a glimpse at other districts either. We've always come from a District 12
Yeah.
sort of point of view.
And also,
So,
I think Finnegan Annie could give us a perspective. I mean, apart from the fact that it might have a somewhat slightly like, I mean, not better because obviously they weren't okay, but like at least they know they love each other
yeah.
type of in the end. Like,
Mm,
that kind of positivity for an ending of a Hunger Games movie would be kind of different. But also, I think it's interesting that we've never really seen a book from the point of view of a career district,
Mm.
which
Yeah.
I
mm,
think would be kind of cool to see because we've seen the capital and we know like how that side works, and we've seen the poorest districts and we know how that side works. But like, how do you balance in a career district, in a wealthy district, being I mean, that wealth and that those like more open opportunities, I guess, with the fact that you're still, you know, oppressed.
mm,
Like
yeah,
Yeah, I
that,
mean,
I
because
think that was
Katniss
some
does
balance.
say that the career districts train, right, and it's probably like being
yeah.
chosen is probably like seen more as like an honor instead of
Instead of a.
instead of a death sentence.
Although I can't remember Annie as being one of the ones that wasn't she still like, I don't think she had the full training, like she's got a full on careers and tribute, like because she survives because
I,
she can
I,
swim.
I
So
yeah, I don't think she was.
no, no. So it would be interesting again. How do you end up getting reaped, like when you're not one of the ones that has been,
Yeah,
Yeah, like
because
did no
groomed,
because
one
for this, for lack of a better
volunteer that
word.
year?
Well, yeah. Mm,
okay, so going back to Snow, I think do you think he'll have been in power for a long time in this book, or do you think it'll be something like she uses this book as like showing like also at the same time showing when he comes into power, because that's possible too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that he, because when we see him, he's still at like he's rising, but he's
yeah.
not like president
No.
or anything. And I don't really see him being president at least for several years, maybe
Yeah,
even much longer. So
no, but I definitely think he'll be already be president at this
Mm,
point, and probably for a while because like 58,
yeah.
he has to have been
yeah.
president for a while at
And they said
least.
he came to power young, but
Yeah,
Yes.
and,
Mm,
I think
the
probably
thing
like
is, in
mid-20s maybe?
Ballad, we already see like the start of how he starts coming
Yeah.
into power, like
yeah,
with the poison and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, he starts
right? So
killing
like
people.
that's his mo. Like
Mm,
that's when it starts. So
that's,
I think he got to power probably pretty young, honestly.
mm,
Mm.
yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Do you guys want to wrap up then?
Bring it
I
on. This is
Yeah.
exciting. I was like,
I
yeah,
think we had a good discussion. So I'm sure we'll be back whenever there's some kind of
Yeah.
announcement. I think for Ballad they released like some of a chapter, was it? Didn't they release like a
yeah,
snippet of
something
a
I think.
chapter or something? And I think they also released like artwork. Am I
Mm.
imagining it? It was like with
I
Enter
mean,
Weekly.
there was a picture of Snow, I
Snow,
remember.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who looked
Yeah.
exactly like Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
I just want to say, before I forget, that again, Suzanne, as many books as you want to give us, we'll take. And also remember that Lionsgate's like life is in your hands. They depend on you. So please keep writing. Yay.
The Lionsgate catalogue: horror films, Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Yeah.
It's basically
Exactly.
that's like how many times can they roll out, the Exorcist thing, Nun remakes and things that I keep getting emails about. So they're like, yes,
Yeah,
you're right, Carla. They need more Hunger
Exactly.
Games.
okay, so I think that about wraps it up. Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of JabberCast. If you're enjoying our podcast, tell other Hunger Games fans that they can find us at Jabberjays.net and leave us a review on your podcasting platform of choice. You can join the Jabberjays Discord server by going to youburnwith.us/JJ Discord and following the invite link to join discussions with other fans. And you can follow us on Instagram at Jabberjays.net. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
JabberCast is brought to you by Pico's House. If you have a manuscript that you're looking to develop, fine tune, or polish for self publication or submission to agents and publishers, Pico's House offers comprehensive editorial services for fiction authors. Pico's House helps hundreds of authors each year and specializes in fiction for all ages. To find out more, go to picoshouse.com. That's PIKKOSHOUSE.com.